6 circles. Nice. So we're walking up to this elaborate creation that Monday made. Fine.
You kind of have to go slow at it. You can't just go crazy.
Oh, this is amazing.
And now the starship is ready to arrive.
Alright. This is today's episode of the IC channel. My name is Maddie and Meryl. Thank you for tuning in. We've got some friends here today. We're here to play, talk, and chat. I think this is a good spot, if you don't mind. I'm pretty sure it's lined up.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, this is the best place. This is the best couch we've ever had.
This is how we're doing this, okay?
Yeah, you can pop out the circle. It's nice.
Popping out the circle.
Pop it out. I'm just going to encourage a little bit of nice volume because it's a little bit far away.
Yes.
Want to make sure it reaches us. Hunter, do you want to jump on?
I don't think I do.
That's chill. I kind of felt that. I'm just
like
encouraging
this one.
patience.
You like that?
I think we might be maxed out on.
That's chill.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's introduce our friends. We have Anthony Ross Kennedy.
Anthony Ross Kennedy.
Reporting for duty.
Reporting, KLIT News reporting. I am a news agency now, according to my LLC license. So.
Oh, that's perfect. I am a journalist.
We're aspiring journalists together on this journey.
Yeah, and it's way faster to talk than it is to like scribe it all, you know?
Yeah.
So describe, dialogue, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Conversation flows so much more this way.
And I'm Tim Feather.
Tim Feather?
And this is Ecstatic Planet. This is a piece of Ecstatic Planet we're on.
Ecstatic Planet, we're on it.
We're on a planet and we're being ecstatic.
I adore this. Represent. You and Monday are establishing this platform, this offering almost by calling it a thing, the thing you're doing, and by that you're bringing people to this focal point, this focus of the movement of ecstatic dance and how it's activating the versions of self that we all are.
Yeah, it's such beautiful medicine, and it can be broadcasted and shown more.
Mm-hmm.
And what better ways than utilizing all the resources that we have access right now, and so blessed to be able to utilize.
Love to hear.
So trying to spotlight first the local scenes here on the West Coast. Some that have been really influential in our Ecstatic Planet development of conceiving the idea, and we're gonna hopefully move abroad. So this, we were talking about scheduling a NorCal or a California trip.
Right
this winter,
on. So we're talking local. That's been Eugene for the most part.
Seattle down to Eugene. Yeah. We've got a bit tonight that we're gonna be filming a little bit with DJ D-Lady.
Oh, really?
D-Lady.
Shout out.
So
I'm excited to see that.
we're excited to be here in Eugene.
Right on.
Footage here. We've done some here, but we've done a lot of footage up in Portland. So just crunching some edits at the moment. Hoping to get stuff out, in the next 2 months. So we'll be posting.
So stay tuned. Next 2 months there's going to be a lot of content that they've been working hard on, creating a what do you call it, docu-series to kind of introduce the debut of Ecstatic Planet.
Yeah, it will be kind of the unveiling. We've sponsored a couple events so far, so
Recently,
unraveled
the last one, Fire and Ice.
Yes, yeah.
Right on.
We've unraveled kind of the company as like a facilitator of funness, and
Facilitator of funness.
we're going to be posting it on YouTube and Instagram. We have an Instagram page, so follow us there.
Right on.
Ecstatic Planet, and a Facebook as well as a YouTube. So we'll be posting like a 10-minute-ish clip of our dance, and then hopefully posting more and more as the worship continues.
Love it. Yeah, I'm excited because the intention behind that is beautifully portraying the medicine that is felt by each individual who is invited in and gets close to what is dance culture.
Yeah, it's great to see the perspective of the facilitators and their intention with it, because
Right.
they love the conversation,
Whee!
and then to really get the
Ball rolling.
well, you get yeah, we're getting the ball rolling here. To get the really beautiful perspectives of the medicine,
Nice.
the people that receive the medicine directly, like on the dance floor. It's great to see them embodying it and
Yeah.
sharing
Talk
about
about
their
it.
success story.
I love how loud bodies can talk beyond, language and conversation. Our bodies are doing their thing and singing their song, and by seeing that, we see their worlds. And each of us can express our beliefs and our embodiment of our, God-given right to move.
Yeah, it's our story, and we're all kind of figuring out how to give ourselves permission more and more to express ourselves more freely.
Totally.
And when we're in places like ecstatic dance, it just reconfirms that belief that we're okay in whatever we're feeling, and we can enact that in our bodily emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And each person inspires us more and more to pursue that deeper in different directions. So it's great to, like, one, inspire others, and
Yeah.
two, observe and get inspired.
And talk about inspiration. So, Anthony, I gotta say, initially, I met you at Coalescence on the Tuesday night last week, and I didn't even catch your name, but you imprinted on me so deeply with how much presence, joy, and exuberance for life itself that you were able to not only feel and know for yourself, but you were generously sharing. And so I've heard many bits about how Ecstatic Dance has transformed your life, and if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about it specifically from your own language.
Well, for me, the dance has been an exploration of a spiritual awakening, and something with finding a home base with Coalescence. It was, I found the dance through a comedian that I pretty much stalked, because I found that their therapeutic dance and their comedy was something that perhaps we needed from like a therapy perspective.
Absolutely.
And so then I started to dance because what do I need to dance for? And what I quickly learned is that it's non-communicative dance. And I started, the whole reason I started the ARC Mental Wellness Center is to talk about really strange things like perhaps reoccurring spiritual cycles with humans and something that maybe our government is talking about in both scientific ways and apparently, real congressional members talking about ancient texts and spirituality also. So,
right.
So, and you and I talked a little bit about that.
And
so my role is pretty much trying to figure out, well, if I had this spiritual awakening and there's these ancient texts that all allude to some sort of dancing or drumming and stuff, and indigenous mythology in America even talks about the same gosh darn things, well then there must be a community that wants to talk about it.
Yes. Oh, there it is. And that's the point in which we're here today. I've been wanting to talk, people want to talk and capture it in a way where it's a conversation, but it's also the conversation that other people are trying to tune into. What's happening and why is it affecting us? Of the economic factors, the social factors, and it seems like you got a lot of factors that you've been adding up to. I just heard about you mentioned something for the first time. This ARC Center?
ARC Mental Wellness Center.
ARC Mental Wellness Center. That's beautiful. I've been aspiring to either participate in one or create it myself, being wellness centered everywhere. Sometimes, hubs of this idea are very, very important to ground the understandings.
Yeah, and I feel like the funny play on the ARC Mental Wellness Center is that I am the ARC Mental Wellness Center. There's actually no ARC Mental Wellness Center.
Right.
I'm just embodying.
But you're creating it in a sense,
Yeah, I'm embodying what I think, what I've learned is that perhaps my value, because I've been so gifted with resources and security, safety and security, that perhaps my value is to try to have some sort of synthesis about what's going on and why it's happening, and then bring my intelligence, like a nuclear, biological, chemical warfare officer. I have 3 degrees, I have a master's degree, and try to, right, I used to be a therapist for mental health here in the county. And so for me, it's like I quit my job to advocate for veterans that our government says encountered UFOs. And I don't care what we call them. I'm more interested in why we're having the conversation.
Right, right.
Why am I having this conversation? And there's people like you that kind of know. Or they're having the same type of what's going on, but also may have had their personal experiences.
Right, which is both and. Very important to allow oneself to speak to the individual experience that we're having, which you touched on a little bit, having the experiences and the education you had that's led you out from within to a point in which you're able to offer from that place of understanding, not just like regurgitating facts, like, whatever example comes to mind. So being that person, you can take that anywhere, and that's a transferable skill that's applicable to whatever context. So if you can find yourself in multiple contexts for however long amount of time, you can benefit more people than signing up or subscribing or committing to a single context.
Right.
So you've taken that, you're duplicating yourself in some sense by being mobile.
Yes.
Nice. So I'm working on that, and I'm coining a thing, and I've spoken to you about it, a thing called Common Found. And how I too am doing a very similar thing about being wellness centered and providing my education, providing room for the educating for the people through my understanding within whatever context is possible. So online and then hopefully in person. That's why Common Found is only an idea that I carry. It doesn't have a place to be at, but everywhere I go, I'm operating as a wellness-centered individual.
You're a traveling wellness center.
Exactly! Thank you for the recognition. And like the other word that comes to mind that really wants to be spoken right now is holistic. Holistic and mystic mentor I've called myself, and for whatever it's worth, I just know there's trust in continuing on my way in this way, because as we come together in harmony, in alignment, there'll be ways to be seen and heard and carry on and be brought to the next places to be seen and heard.
Yeah, and I think people like you are going to help bridge. Very real things happened in the United States in 1947 that changed just pretty much the way we live.
Right.
Like real things with phenomena in Corona, New Mexico, which people call Roswell, but it was in Corona. And
There's a place called Corona?
Yeah, that's where the Roswell accident was actually at.
So in China, then?
No, it was in Corona, New Mexico.
Oh, what?
Yeah, most people don't even understand that Roswell, they changed the name of it so you don't understand that it's connected to Corona.
Right. Good try. So this is a good point of the truth is handmade. So a lie is the truth. You will find through the lie, through the being misled.
Yeah.
Where the truth is.
Yeah. What are people gonna do when they figure that out?
But at least talk about it.
Right. The synergy of it is that if we're all talking about it and multiple countries are talking about it, well, then there must be some truth and reality to it.
Right.
And the bottom line is we're all living in it while it's happening. Like, it's like we don't even get the opportunity to deny it, because there's us that have encountered it personally.
Right. And lives in our body.
Right. So it makes more sense to ask, what is it about? And from my perspective, we're going to go through we're going through something that we've gone through several times. It's written in multiple mythologies about some sort of interaction with something that comes out of the water or space.
Right.
I mean, we could argue all day long about what it is, but the government has said dimensions and mankind, and you should listen to the experiencers. And so I spend my time just genuinely listening to experiencers. Tell me what your experience is with the phenomena. And if you if you ask enough people the same question,
Yeah.
you're gonna find some certain things,
Isn't that cool?
some neat little details.
And it's neat, like orderly, like factual, like it follows measure and it's definable by the physics of our reality. So it's neat.
Yeah.
I'll take a shot of that. Okay, give me something that's a phenomenon that we can talk about a little bit, Shuan.
So the absurdity of the dance is the creative process, which is
Right on.
indicative of this goddess energy.
Yes. Ooh, talking about goddess.
You guys, I gotta get off. I'm starting to get sick.
Oh,
Are
okay,
you really?
okay.
I just get seasick.
He's
I
off.
love it.
He's off the spaceship.
It's just you and me on the spaceship of galactic.
We have room for
span.
Hunter now.
Hunter, you want to come on?
Sure.
Right
Oh,
on.
Hunter's coming on the
Right
galactic
on.
spaceship.
Thank you, Feather.
Thank you, Feather. DJ Feather.
DJ
Thank you so
Feather.
much, y'all.
We got him sick on the
Lord.
spaceship. Yes. We're just training over here for potential space travel.
Yeah.
Technically, are
Yeah.
already in a version of space travel.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in your captivated web now.
Yay.
I'm in your web now. Give me your
You
knowledge.
guys got here first. Yes, yes. I'm happy to share.
I give you mine.
Nice.
We co-create the knowledge.
Yeah, and that's why talking about like actual experiences really grounds it. So we can talk, for me, it's when I'm by myself or talking with somebody. Initially, sometimes it's like, oh, what day is it? Okay, astrologically, we got this going on. And it's a good portal entry. Tarot card, same idea. Where's the entry of conversation? Sometimes it's like, yo, my shoulders hurt. Oh, I'm a body worker, happy to help, Reiki infused massage, ready. And so portal conversation being endless, I really enjoy your experiences you've been speaking to. All of them, every single one. Everything you've spoken to, I feel very resonant within. And so I think it's very timely for us to be meeting in this point where conversation for me is free-flowing and I have all this fascination and excitement and education to continue to connect the dots.
Yeah.
So you have lots of dots.
And I feel like to be honest, if I spent more time connecting with the spiritual people who understands, and then try to show them that there's something connected with this phenomenon that also is connected to really insane technologies and perhaps healing technologies and and perhaps like propulsion like technologies that would change gas and oil and electricity. Well, if I talk about these things, that's pretty exciting when you start talking about your power bills and your gas bills maybe being eliminated.
And it's about time we kind of get close to the idea that we all kind of like somewhere along the line believe that renewable resources, if human bodies have this ability, it's replicated from the micro to macro, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't
that infinite body, infinite energy in your body bag. How we can fractal it out is kind of how world religions or spiritual practices or things designed to help bring out your spirituality. Well, everybody has to learn how to fractal their own body.
Absolutely.
In their own way.
Absolutely. Body movement practices. Call it that overarching notion because we all have different flow.
Some sort of flow
Yeah.
in community might be so more powerful than we could ever imagine.
If we flow a little more.
Yeah.
I
like
worked,
flow.
Yeah. Flow is a medicine. Follow the science. Play. So I worked in long-term care for about 4 years, right? And then COVID happened. And so what I've learned is that absence and that resistance to flow is futile, unnecessary within the experience of love, because folds of fractal nature endlessly house divine essence. And so what are we going to do if we're going to resist this opportunity of experience, of expression? Call it love, call it whatever. Flow itself, we ought to also share, right? So I worked so closely with people who didn't live that way and were disempowered at whatever level for whatever reason. And so knowing that the medicine that we need is each other. We are medicine to each other.
Yes.
Because we inspire, we spark, it ignites us to that level of presence. Nice.
Yeah, and then understanding that this may be really happening. Well, what could I possibly understand that this would do to humans?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on a podcast with like 8 other like people that have more degrees and more years of therapy than I do.
Right.
And the paradigm shift that's here is what the business of the play and the dance is really here to do.
Paradigm shifting.
Because without having fun activities, then we're just going to fight about different ideas about what it could be.
Right.
And the collective community is what brings us together and finding cohesion about like what the heck's going on.
Right.
And I believe that like the more far right of the red spectrum and the far left of the left spectrum, the red and blue, and red and blue is in ancient mythology and whatever that means, the synergy creates a purple.
Right. Oh, I love that focus. Yeah.
And that would include bringing everybody to the dance floor and sort it out. Let's sort it out.
Yes, and it's at those contexts I've had the most profound conversations. Obviously, when you're in dance, you're not talking so much, right? You're actually in dance, and even like what I call yogic dance. You're meditating and being brought to places in your body to explore and to fractal out. And around that context, there's a lot of conversation. So CGC, for example, there's actual medicine and healing happening, and then there's all this experience of that experience that we can jump into in conversation and understand it, unpack it, discover further in the mindscape where it all lands. Because I actually love metaphysics and how aspects of the body hold story. Get that back. Well. So anyways,
well, I think
this podcast you're talking about, I think, Freddie.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to a very paradigm shifting. My son here, he's had to kind of watch me go through like wounded warrior extreme stuff after war. He lived through it.
One more time, your title. Your previous title.
Oh, I was a nuclear biological chemical warfare officer, and I did. And then I did tours in Iraq as that, and as an infantry officer.
Wow.
And so I did 2 combat tours.
Whoa.
And yeah, and then I had a near-death experience in 2008, right after coming home from war. And
after war.
Yeah, and typical. Like many veterans, family discourse, the fallout of training, multiple deployments, war, it really takes a toll on the family.
Oh, absolutely. I understand that too, my own experience and such. And I can imagine how close that was for your family.
Yeah, and so Hunter's got to be part of this awakening with me. He's been touched by different parts of the phenomena. And it's been very confusing for our family because whenever I awoke, and I had these childhood experiences, and then I had near-death experiences, and as soon as I understood that there were indigenous, like this person that's seen the goddess and all of these agencies, they think, a lot of people are just focused on their 3-letter agencies and stuff, but it's the indigenous elders that I paid attention to. Why are the indigenous elders going to this family's house, and why does the Vatican know about it?
Right.
The Vatican knows about it. And so it's about this goddess energy, and I had this experience as a child that like I don't even know what to think, to believe, because I never told anybody except my mother. My mother knew about these things because she experienced them with me. So to me, as soon as I started looking at what might be happening, why the UFOs exist, and my own, and whatever I was seeing, owl experiences, flashes in the sky with family members, a family level baptism, I just knew that the message that they were telling me, they weren't telling other people, and I ought to just listen. I ought to just at least tell what I'm being told, and let it sort itself out. Because if I'm just one voice of many, well then I know from like a data scientist that if you have a lot of voices, you might find some truth in about what's being said.
Right.
If it's not onesies and twosies.
Right. It's 2000sies,
Yes.
200,000sies.
Yes.
Yeah. And people get really like, I don't know, but to speak so broadly, but myself at least, get really like sensitive about bringing things up of the mystical realm. It's like unless I know there's this openness and like a shared understanding of that place, I'll maybe crack a joke here and there and try and feel that out, but it's hard to talk about things where people have like a closed off and they put a wall up energy around it all. So to at least like, you know, for whatever reason, look at the stars and be like, oh, what's your sun sign? Do you believe in astrology? Do you believe like that influences us at all? Okay, we can carry on. So thank you for having that boldness. And I guess maybe you're just simply compelled, but my guess is that there's more to it entirely, and either way, the communication desire is so strong, and that itself has brought me forward in my own desire to communicate, where I've had some really wildly mystical experiences with the phenomenon that I can't quite understand. I've called one a glitch in the matrix. I'm like, that was a glitch. Like, there's no other explanation besides like that happened, and like it shattered the idea of linear energy entirely.
Yeah. Right, and I think that the more that I connect that and then just say, hey, our government's really talking about, they're talking about these ancient texts. And then let's translate what all the ancient texts say about the same gosh darn stuff, you know?
Right,
Let's translate it, and then we'll try to decide what everybody else is saying from what they see of it. That's a propulsion system right there for the spacecraft.
I know, right? That was fun. Good back bend in there. The opening of the shoulders. Yeah. With the resistance of the ground, it's nice to press away.
Yeah, so I see now my role is in my community, even with like DJ Feather and the Glad Wagon and Coalescence, is connecting the dots, but not telling what the dots are.
Simply speaking to the dots, and then people have to make up their own minds.
Yeah, and I think, well, if we all sat down and we started thinking, like, there's very clearly something connected to phenomena in our government through multiple years, 80 years, and then it's just like, well, what do ancient mythologies say about militaries and flying discs in the sky?
Right.
And they all come on, oh, the tarot people, they know something about cycles.
They know something about cycles. Talk about it.
They know cycles and upon cycles, and so do ancient mythologies, and so do pyramids, and so do farmers' almanacs.
Farmers' almanacs. What's that?
Oh, it's like it's been going since 1753, I think.
Oh, what?
But it's like they keep track of all the yearly days on what happened on this day, or but imagine taking your
stuff,
imagine doing a farmer's almanac so long that you said, hey, let's gather all the people and put a 50,000 pound stone rock in the sky, and then we'll put like 10 of them up to align with things, because and how many years did it take them to figure out, like, hey, we should put some stones up in this out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Not just any stones that are very intentionally like placed, brought in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Cycles in my lyrics, I've spoken to cycles and clouds. Like, I really enjoy how many different like looped systems occur in order for there to be a singular whole notion of reality. I'm actually wearing a clue, and there's something about it. There's a clue here in the clue. And so the cycles, you know, you can look at like 0 as a cycle. You can look at 0 to 3, for example, or like even the singular number 1, then 1 to 2, then 1 to 3. You can look up to 12 to 13. You can look up to 24. There's big cycles, overarching cycles that are reflected out, and we're simply embodying them as we remember what this divine reality and essence is.
Yeah, and we need people like you to do more of it. Tell the message.
I'm working on it. It's hard to be effective. Like, not to waste time. How long will it take to be creative enough that it's a joyful experience too, like worth entering into. So that's why art's been a big one for me for a number of years. I painted kind of steadily for 4 years, and then I had so much art, and it was apparently too good. I can't sell any of it. It cost too much money, so I got into prints and moving around prints a little bit, getting into music, because I realized that my voice carries so much farther than a painting can move. That's pretty much the point of where music's brought me out. I got told, put down the art supplies, pick up the guitar, don't put it down.
Oh no. It's
nice.
Okay. The crown hit the ground.
Oh, that's actually so symbolic.
So did I.
Nice.
But it's okay.
Oh,
so, you know, I'm just grateful for everything that I see happening. I spent a fair amount of time being trained professionally by mostly women in my profession through social work. And they were the same therapists that were when I was active duty, but were also my teachers while I was getting my master's degree. So for me, I've been taken care of by a team of individuals that were with me on active duty, or with me in my darkest times as a veteran, and then helped bring me out. And the good thing is that my profession, the field of social work, really does talk about social work and the integration of it.
Right. And like, where is it actually practiced with the soul, within the soul?
Yeah, and how does it affect the body? How does it affect your psychosocial self?
Right.
And what would happen to a whole society now that may be disassociated with truth, with our universal truth?
Right. I would say some pretty negative effects would come from that.
Yeah.
To say the least. So the idea of bringing the goddess through this thread, it sounds like there's been so much grace that has enveloped you that you cannot do anything more than simply, what do you say, be resolute and your knowing, and then from that, it's what's kind of calling you. She's calling you to continue your work in a way that it's more than just a verbal communication. It's your life path. That's communicating the ways you're being, the way you dance, and invites us closer to this understanding.
Yeah. And I get it from, and I all I can do is mirror that back because I get it from you. It's like I'm mirroring the people that the universe seems to be putting in front of me.
Well said, because that's how I've kind of gotten closer to my sense. You also get to understand closer who you are from when you're not.
Yeah.
Of course, we have our differences, and we have real differences that divide us, but like seeing that mirror effect, it has brought me closer to expressing what I understand as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really lucky that way. What's going on, Hunter?
I'm back.
You gotta move around.
Stretch.
Yeah, guy, this is what this is for, I think.
It's the Crawl and Talk podcast.
Crawl and talk, I like it. There's this idea of like straightening out, so you can like use your legs, and then from the legs down, the spine, the upper body's up, or I'm going downwards a little bit, but stretch pretty good. So yeah, I left nursing. Once COVID hit the fan, I was like, that's COVID, that's a thing, that's long story short, I refused to take any sort of inoculation, and I went into alternative medicines, and I was studying Reiki for a while before this, and then I've been doing yoga like casually for a couple years, and so I was like, okay, this is the time, jump ship and go and teach yoga. I haven't really gotten into like a professional studio setting role, but I teach yoga in all the limbs.
That's amazing. That's just taking what comes with the universe.
Exactly. There was opportunity there, and at first I was judging it. I'm like, oh, I'm not successful, I don't have a consistent class. But then I was like, I'm a space teacher. There's all kinds of teachers. There's earth teachers, air teachers, water, fire, the rest of the elements. And then there are space teachers. I was spoken to by Shawnee, wonderful human being. I hope she sees this one day. She was speaking to the idea of all kinds of students and teachers. And once I clued into that, I really welcomed that. I call myself an off-mat specialist.
Yeah, that's good. We need more off-mat specialists.
Yeah, and it's important. Like, mat practice has a lot to offer, where you can like really find the foundations of where your energy is to cycle it. And once you have those foundations, you can float right off. But you can lay it down on the mat, tears, sweat, the whole thing. And from that point, there's the ability to realize that everything is the same surface. You can find your practice taking you everywhere into all kinds of textures, and that itself is I think where the medicine continues to ripple out.
Yeah, and in my own journey, it's all about this synergy. I was a wrestler. I wrestled in college.
You were a wrestler?
Yeah, I wrestled in college, so I have like this very real high level of combative, but wherever the dancer is, the boxer or the wrestler's there.
I've heard this idea, so yeah, you're basically saying the thing that I've heard and spoken to, where it's like, life is a dance or a wrestle,
yes,
depending on how you're moving.
Yeah, and so if I'm embodying this sensual, creative, feminine part of me, I'm very good at combative. I got, I'm very good at
fight,
war.
muscle in,
Yeah,
muscle in.
I'm very good at that. But learning how to be my sensuous self and
Yeah.
actually trying to be sensuous with people on the dance floor, really hard for me.
Right.
But expressing it in I need to learn that in my fullest expression of self.
Yeah.
Because women like that too.
Yeah, they do call it out. It's so wild to me that we've made men shut that off, and it's even for females, shut from a sensuality and get this rigid, flat, and expectant kind of way where it's like, I can't predict your movements. I don't like that. I'm gonna, whoever that is,
Right.
create this paradigm where it's all contracted in some sense, narrowed into a very static way of moving the body. Because we were pretty much sitting and standing these days, chairs, and then bed, and then cars, and like when are we moving in the in between of all that? Dance is one of the biggest ways to feel all kinds of movements moving in all directions.
Yeah,
And
it's
space moves in all directions.
non-communication, non-verbal, consensual.
Non-verbal consensual. Yeah, because I can feel your body, your energy, your intentions. Eye contact helps these things, but either way, it's like pretty obvious how we're expressing through the body. And if anybody has anything to hide, you can feel them hiding in their body.
Yeah.
And I think hiding has its place, for sure. I think we all kind of retreat every now and again. They call it the wounded animal process of retreating and isolating and licking your wound. But then you come back out.
That's what we're doing. We're coming out together.
Yeah, guys.
It's a whole bunch of us trying to get with the spiritual people, but it's like hard for people to listen to the military people. It's so much hurt. The the Christian nation, they're okay with the warriors.
Yeah.
The spiritual people have a really hard time understanding. No, man, there's pilots and like nuclear officers that have seen these things and want to try to tell a message.
So you were speaking to these things that are being seen. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Just things around highly sensitive facilities and bases that are beyond what we know from other countries now. Like things happening in 42, things happening in World War II
Right.
are the same things that are happening now. So we just have to consider why the government is telling us about disclosure. Why are we even having? What would compel the government to even start talking to us about that?
Because they want to talk to us.
Yeah, because that's how it began. That's how the tapes on CNN in 2017 began.
Yeah.
Was with the government giving tapes in the Pentagon parking lot to a news reporter. And so then you have to consider, but why?
Right.
And I would just say, they don't have an option. The whatever intelligence that's with us is dictating the cycle.
Dictating the cycle, and that's actually the most interesting thing, is because I've read about this, and there are it's not. I thought it was a gem wrapped. It's just a peel of this tree. It was shining in the sun, looked like a gemstone. Anyways, there are evidence, like there's expressions of anecdotal evidence of these conversations where it's not the right time yet, it'll happen. And so people speak to this, and so you're saying that the government's bringing it up and forward because it's kind of time.
Yeah, and then I would tell people, well, what are some of the things? Well, I just know that my feed is filled with people who are in the know.
Nice.
And and it's like they're really saying, listen to the experiencers. They're not trying to tell you how it is. One of them they're actually all saying you got to listen to the experiencers. And then people argue about whether people are intel people or whatever, and it's just like, for me, I'm on the spiritual side of it. I'm beyond the argument. It's like if I talk to the spiritual people, they'll give me a better idea about what's going on than somebody that's just talking about some sort of alien dialogue that is nonstop negative.
Right. And I think that's that fear side of things, where that energy is gonna at least shake up. What are you not looking at? Is there more to look at? Are you missing some information? Is there fear here? Is there threat? And so I think once we establish that there is or is not a threat, we can move to another direction. So that's kind of a natural process. So it sounds like what you're speaking to through any of these experiences is there's a benevolence.
Yeah, there's something that is watching us. And I know from my personal experiences, I know it's watching us.
Right,
and
right.
I know that. It's just there's no getting around it because that's what the texts talk about, and I've experienced it too many different ways with too many different people, different family members at different times, people on the phone, people in other states while on the phone, personal experiences with people. Like my father-in-law was at Stanford in a NASA program that Harold Pudoff was in charge of, and
I'm not sure who that is.
He's a physicist from Stanford that is associated with the UFO phenomena, and a paper called Written on Ultra-Terrestrials, which brings on biological aspects.
Are you dismounting? Thank you for being here, Hunter. Before you go, can I just for the sake of my own practice, could you just like introduce yourself a little bit?
I'm Hunter Kennedy. I'm 25. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I'm not too busy right now. I just started a janitor job.
Right on. That's noble work.
And I miss the summer.
So you're gonna sell it for the summer? Maybe that's my plans. Yeah. I think. Oh, whoa. I think that some people station in the winter, and that's their modality. Makes them happy, and that's where their comfort is. But I think some of us are more migratory. And following the sun sounds like a smart idea.
Yeah. We're out in the balance now.
Yeah, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Yeah. Thank you for being here, Hunter. Yeah, I really appreciate your presence.
This is our collaborative effort to talk about all the things that we like to talk about. And of course, I'm connected with musicians, artists, anybody that is awakened to whatever's happening, because I believe that we'll probably have some sort of universal resonance. Well, it just makes sense, because if there's something really unfolding, then wouldn't we start resonating the universal resonance? It's just love.
That's the calling at this point. And so I think letting everything else kind of fall away, right? Walking away from old ways and walking towards this knowing, like we were talking about, when there's more information provided, we can make informed decisions. We can be resolute. Right? So all of a sudden it's like, well, hey, here's some facts. And let's just talk about Taurus being in Uranus. This has been a long time coming. Uranus has been in Taurus, it's gone in retrograde. I'm not sure where it's at right now, if it's still in retrograde, but point being is change. Some of us, maybe more than others, have a really hard time changing. Taurus energy does not like to change. It's like, this is the way. Head down, feet to the ground, no problem, I got this. My way, my way, my way. And then all of a sudden, Aquarian energy, Uranus comes in. Well, actually, here's facts. Here's reason. Here's rationality. Here's what you gotta do now. And here's health and humanity. You know. And guys, come on. Fucking the rebellion is to change ways, and as well stay the same within your core essence of self. Be that sense of self your nature has designed you to be. And Taurus is like, really? Okay, change is coming. And so we can welcome that more and more and more. And we're all, different in our approach. But just hearing you talk about this whole conversation is really bringing me to realize that I'm not alone in growing, and we all do it at our own paces. But at the end of the day, it's like the learning will bring more learning, and then we're just all gonna move towards what is most copacetic. Is that the?
Yeah, I think we're gonna move towards some sort of universal resonance.
Universal resonance is a gorgeous term.
That may come with a new paradigm around just the way we live with money, the way we live with food scarcity, the way we live with it's just technology being used for good, not in a fear model, just trying to get enough people to understand that you can actually think about using robotics and AI for good. We don't actually have to just think about it for negative.
Right.
And so
we're just really conditioned that that negative muscle is quite strong. And so from there, we can like just go to the opposite. Okay, we got all these what ifs about like it being the worst possible scenario, but then what if it's more of this positive experience and it's actually going to help shape us and solve a lot of the things we're calling problems and issues.
Yeah, and to me, I just say, well, if you're talking about some spiritual cycle, then we're probably not going to agree about what you can read about the power of this energy,
right,
and where it would be, because I'm understanding that it's in my computer and it's in that darn leaf over there.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like in the smoke movie.
Yeah.
I'm understanding that it's in everything, like all the ancient texts say it's indescribable. So that would mean that, like, how does the freaking energy from a cloud get into my Wi-Fi signal through a plug-in? I mean, that's pretty magic.
It's magic entirely.
Like, how is that measured in my aura? And can they do that? Can they is it like, oh yeah, they could put my aura on a freaking screen now in ones and zeros? It's all ones and zeros.
It's all ones and zeros. The coding is so complex in some sense through its simplicity. Right, it's so simple that it allows for the complexity, both and, for sure. Oh, lovely my conversation. There's a few more questions I think I was feeling, but in this moment I feel a nice, beautiful pause.
Oh, I like your pauses. Thank you for pausing. The helicopter coming by.
Can you identify it?
That's
he already figured it was a helicopter, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is.
There's this friend I knew, he's like, I know what plane that is, but I think he just like, I don't know, had a fascination beyond anything else. He also had an app. There's an app that or like a website even, that you can look at whatever they're flying, because they have to like.
Yeah, Laura does that.
Oh yeah.
We've had we've had owl experiences, like in my home, owl experiences when asking to see UFOs, owl experiences when in closed group sessions with this family, the Bledsoe family.
Bledsoe?
Yeah, the Bledsoe family out of North Carolina. Yeah, and so she tracks all of the planes and stuff, because we've had helicopter experiences, just really strange to feel like they're like somehow being, I don't know, just really strange for us.
Okay.
That we never had before. Like, no, we never had stuff like that before.
Right.
And so now we've noticed things with helicopters in ways that we never imagined.
Right. Yay, there we go.
Yeah, you're trying to get your dress from flapping around while you're on a moving spaceship.
Challenge accepted. She climbed on board. Yeah, I'm here to hang out. Okay, also stretching. All right. So Monday morning, has created this device that has allowed us to traverse the universe through conversation, through expression.
A portal, if you will. A portal of holes.
Portal of holes.
Many holes.
And many holes. Is a portal just made of many holes then? Either way, I do want to learn who these things have only occurred to me every now and again. I'm like, that would be such a fun way. You can dance on those guys pretty good. So let's tie it back into embodiment practices, because by knowing your body itself, some of this receptivity, right, to universal truths is kind of like supported, because this is our transmitter. And by removing, we talked a bit about this too. By removing like toxic toxins through the products, through the media, through the things that we're not meant to have, through the poisoning of food. By removing these things, we can actually like tune in better to what our body is telling us, and where that leads us, where that brings us into context with other community members, because we're meant to live in, you know, togetherness through this everythingness.
And I think that's what this creative dance and different. For me, I'm in so many different dance groups. I'm not just in the coalesce.
Right.
I'm in different dance groups. So
You connected. For
yeah,
sure.
I just went to all kinds because I understood that, oh, there might be something more to this than just. And so I explored it from a mental health,
Right.
physical health perspective, but then understood, oh, there's spiritual stuff happening here. It's happening here
Yeah.
because as soon as I started connecting with the members beyond, probably after the first time I spiritually cried in front of the village people, I was crying. I don't even know I was crying, but that was the first time I was held by my community. And then, you know, soon after that, we started hanging out together, you know, and we would find out that, hey, you guys are all the spiritual ones, you know, the ones that are going to the dinner things afterwards or the little retreats and stuff. Yeah, it's all spiritual. I was like, oh, holy shit, I'm on to something.
You found yourself. You stumbled upon what they also call hippies. Sometimes.
Yes, the hippies, those gosh darn hippies.
Gosh darn dirt lovers.
Yeah. So that's where I found out, and you know, and some of that brings me back to my practice of how the synchronicity brought me back to the Whitebird Clinic. You know,
The Whitebird Clinic.
Yeah, I worked at the Whitebird Clinic, which is one of the biggest nonprofits in this area, but it's connected to the Oregon Country Fair, and like my wrestling coach is intimately tied to the Oregon Country Fair, and oh, by the way, Laura's dad saved the Oregon Country Fair through archaeology and indigenous studies. So it's like that's another piece of this puzzle to me that is like there's too much synchronicity. That it means something. Right? And if I tell people it, the people who understand it, like synchronicity is tied to something with mathematics and dates and numbers and just like as soon as you start telling the people that know about that, it's like, no, it's overwhelming. I can tell you it all day long, nonstop.
Yeah, the more you look, the more there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I found other people with the same thing.
And there's a natural pulse to the ability to relay and disseminate information as well as receive it.
Yes.
I'm the person that goes, I'm so fast sometimes, and I know that that's not how people can receive it, even though my tongue can move that fast. Nice, that's a good pressure point getting the hip there. Massage on the spaceship through movement. Guys, self-massage. I like to teach everywhere I go, and so like within the yogic principles is this lovely divine alignment with wherever you're at is where you're meant to be, so you can move there. So if you're walking on like, you know, uneven ground, you're like, oh, I'm gonna trip, or like, this is challenging. It's actually meant for you to like maybe feel your ankles or feel your feet, you know, and like trust the ground's gonna be there, even if it's deeper or lower than you initially instincted. You're gonna still be met. So those off steps are still steps, right? So, oh man, I got like injured, I fell out of a tree. That's important for me to walk that walk, and I got to walk that walk after I dislocated my ankle. 8 months into that healing journey, I sprained my other ankle, and so these are messages. Injuries are telling us how to receive new information, almost how to actually strengthen through them as well. So, anyways,
I'm glad you shared your message with me. I'm so grateful for you and this message sharing that we what did we start at the other last week in dance. Continued at the Fire and Ice event this weekend. Right? You're performing, and then we're kind of finishing it here. We'll probably dance. There'll probably be some coalescence. You going to coalescence tonight?
I'm going. Yeah. I happen to be here for one more night before going up back north. I'm going to Tabasco for Barter Fair. So definitely excited that this is what feels, like you said, the natural rhythm of our conversation thus far. There's been a lot of resonance between us immediately. Anthony has sparked so much joy and organic expression of such that like it reminds me of mine, and sometimes I feel like it's just too bright. I have people react to it and close off because I'm such an open individual. And you didn't even like skip a beat. You were in your giggle. It's so strong.
Somebody gonna match my freak. Yeah, let's play. Let's just go. Let's go. Exactly. You're doing that? Okay, I'm gonna do that too.
Oh, exactly. The sensing of such is so beautiful. So beautiful.
I'm grateful.
Oh, thank you for saying. I really, really feel the same in gratitude, and I know that no matter what, our paths are going to be very much close by each other. So maybe we can do some online versions of these chats.
Yeah,
in the
let's have
future.
a spaceship hug.
Spaceship hug.
Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been such a joyride.
A joyride of spaceship love.
A spaceship of love, ascending to above. Okay. Dismount.
Dismount.
Elegance. Thank you for listening, friends and viewers, family to be. Until next time.